occupational therapist at Joy and Laughter Developmental Therapy, and today we're going to talk about how your baby's gross motor skills should develop. And I have Diego with me. He is a student who wants to enroll into OT school, and he's got some questions for me. Hi, Diego.
Hi, Poonam. Poonam, can you tell me what are some gross motor skills?
So gross motor skills are your large muscles that help you to do different activities like running, walking, crawling, jumping. And fine motor skills are where you need your smaller muscles, and those are typically your hand muscles, which help you in different activities like eating, buttoning, writing, playing, holding, zipping, shoelacing, and many more. But in order for the fine motor skills to develop, we need to work on strengthening our larger muscles, our core muscles, our balance, our posture, and our coordination. And so we're going to talk about today what are some of the key milestones in gross motor skills and how these skills build up the foundation for other skills as we grow older. So one of the first questions we have here is what key movement skills should the baby develop? So as a baby is born, they develop their gross motor skills right from birth. They start developing these skills from birth to 2 months and start building up more skills between an age gap of 3 to 6 months. And human beings are the only mammals who cannot walk, run, nor swim as soon as they are born. So there is a hierarchical order of development that children have to go through. So the first milestone is head holding. When babies are born, they need to learn to hold their head, especially once they start doing tummy time and rolling over. This happens between birth to 2 months. The next stage is laying on your tummy, or we call prone, and rolling over from side to side. So rolling over from left to the right, right to the left. That develops between 3 to 6 months. Then babies learn to sit up. They first learn to sit with support. They could be supported against a ball, against a pillow, against the wall, against mom or dad if they're sitting on their lap. And then they start learning to sit unsupported. And that happens within 6 to 9 months. So by the end of 8 to 9 months, baby should be sitting independently. And that's why the milestones are spread out across months, because they have started to learn that skill and then they slowly master that skill. After sitting comes crawling. Crawling is very important, and because it helps you to build your arches of your hand, your shoulder stability, your core muscles. It's pretty much like a mini knee push-up, where the baby is trying to hold themselves up on all fours without landing on their face. And they're also learning to move from one point to the other. And it's a great stage for them, because all this time they were just laying on their back, or they're laying on their tummy, or sitting in one place, but now they get to move around. So it's the most fun stage for them. And then comes standing. So all this time they were sitting, crawling, but now they get to stand and look at their environment all around them. Now they're standing tall, and that's such a great thing for them. They start standing with support, and what we call as, they will stand holding to a chair, holding onto the couch, very briefly, because their muscles are still developing. Their muscles are still getting strong. They are learning to put weight on their feet, which they hadn't done for all these months. And then they're gonna start standing without support. And then they learn to okay, either I'm gonna land on my bum and sit down, or I can slowly learn to kneel down. And then comes walking. Again, walking develops between age 10 to 18 months. And again, kids learn walking sideways first, where they will hold on to furniture. We call it furniture walking. And they will start walking, side to side. They will hold on one end of the furniture, move on to the next side, move on to the next side. Then they will start walking with holding your two hands. Then they start walking holding one hand, and then they're walking without any support. And then they start running. So that's such a fun time for kids to grow up from babies to being infants to toddlers. Now, when kids skip a milestone, and by that we mean is if they, instead of crawling, they go straight to walking, we really still want them to learn crawling because we want their muscles to develop appropriately. We want their muscles to get stronger. We want them to weight bear. Because, for example, crawling helps in bilateral coordination, which I mean by they have to use their hand and feet in synchronous motion. Like they move one hand forward, then they move the other hand forward, they move one knee forward, they move the other knee forward. Also, they're learning to weight bear on their knees, on their hands. Also, body awareness that, hey, my head is in front, my hands are going in front of my head, and now my legs are pushing me forward to reach for my favorite toy. Balance, how long can I be on all my fours without falling on one side or the other or landing on my face? And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to learn to balance myself and be upright. Strengthen the arches of their hand because they're putting weight on their wrist. Their shoulders are getting stabilized too. And that eventually helps in their fine motor skills. Sometimes we push our kids hard to develop all these gross motor skills as fast as possible, but we really need to give them time to master those skills. Learning a skill is different from mastering a skill. Yes, you can hold your kids when they are just sitting and try to help them walk and be like, yay, my kid is walking with support. But is your child really ready for that? Has your child developed their leg muscles strong enough to bear weight, to stand upright? Or are they using compensatory techniques by using other muscles like, having their knees really hyperextended so they can stand? And I don't think that's a good thing to put all that pressure on your child because the muscles are not fully developed. They could end up having a fear of standing, of falling, and they might try to avoid that skill. Sometimes we may give a child a walker to learn, to walk, to stand, to run. But that could also lead to poor core strength, poor body coordination, because now we're telling them, hey, instead of learning to walk on your own, you got to use a walker like an old person to walk when you're not even 1 year old. So think about it. At JLD, we have physical therapists who do standardized tests like the Peabody Developmental Motor Scales to evaluate their gross motor skills and help the children achieve those age-appropriate skills. Peabody is used for kids from birth to 5 years and 11 months. And when they pass that age, we have other standardized tests for higher age groups, like the Brunick's Otoreski test. But right now, since we're talking about babies from birth to 1 year, this is the most commonly used tests by PTs and OTs for gross motor skills and fine motor skills. At the end, kids need more floor time. They need more tummy time. They need to explore their environment. They need to move from one position to another. They need a consistent daily routine, nap time, the right feeding time. They need to play with their parents, grandparents, their siblings. They need a healthy diet. And we need to model them all these things because that's how they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn by imitating us. Less toys and more cognitive stimulation. No screen time for kids under age 2. I hope this helps you If you have any other questions, give us a call, email us, check our blog, our website. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye.